once again, boys and girls. It's nice to be back with you on the Writer's Crusade. Today, we will be looking at developing a descriptive composition. I would have said that we would try in our last lesson on descriptive writing. But before we go on, let's do a little recap. We discussed that descriptive writing gives details about a person, animal, place, object, or even feelings, which allows the reader to experience what you have experienced, what you are seeing or what you have seen, or what you are feeling or what you have felt. Good descriptive writing appeals to the five senses and creates pictures in the reader's mind. There should be the full use of adjectives and adverbs in descriptive writing. Now, other than the basic elements of story or composition, we discussed that descriptive writing also includes the elements of sensory details, figurative language, a dominant impression or central theme, use of precise language, and like for any good piece of writing, careful organization must be done. For this lesson, we will look at developing a descriptive composition based on a specific scenario. Let's also review how we go about writing such a composition. Now, to make the process of writing a descriptive composition easier, you should remember the basic steps to follow. Step 1, you select a specific topic or subject for your writing. When writing a good description, you can use observation as a main strategy. For instance, if you need to describe a place, you can try to remember when you were at this place, or you can go there and write about what you actually see or what you actually hear. You need to be able to draw a clear picture of the place in the mind of the readers. You must also pay attention to the most important details that would support the impression you want to pass on to the reader. Organize your details carefully in descriptive writing. You need to structure your paragraphs in order to provide a smooth transition from the general ideas to the more specific details. You can also use examples to make your story or the narration of your descriptive composition more real. The use of descriptive words. You would remember that I said language must be precise. You must use direct words depending on what your composition is based on. This avoids ambiguity or confusion in the mind of the reader. So you want to try to avoid using adjectives such as good, bad, awful, or just the plain old beautiful or ugly. Make use of words that appeal to your senses and describe the subject of your composition. Then you want to be able to make a clear conclusion. Although your conclusion has to be clear and well structured, you still should use your descriptive and appealing words to make the composition sound more convincing and exciting at the same time. Now, here I have a graphic organizer that you can use for the step of brainstorming your ideas for your composition. Now you will see in the middle I have topic, and then we have three other circles around with the word details in it. Now, for instance, I have at the side there a place. So if we're talking about a place, you would want to identify things that you will talk about when you're describing this place. I said you can go to the location, you can talk about what you see. Then you can talk about sounds you hear around in the environment. You could talk about also activities that take place at the particular location. Don't forget, the main parts of your composition must be kept in mind. Like a narrative composition, all descriptive compositions must include an introduction, the main body, and your conclusion. Remember, in the introduction, this is where you briefly introduce your subject or the topic of your composition. Remember to write in an engaging way so as to draw the reader's attention and convince them to read further rather than to just put that down and read something else. Now, in the main body, you want to focus on the details that are directed to the theme or the topic of your composition. In the body, you further explore those details. Use your words fully so that you could create that clear picture. Also, in this section, you can provide specific examples, as I said earlier, to enhance the description of the subject in the composition. It makes it easier for the reader to understand. In the conclusion, it is the last but not least important component of the descriptive piece. In this part, you try to provide a little of your own thoughts and conclusion of the subject of the composition. Now, I have a composition to share with you that someone would have written. The composition that I will share is based on this scenario that we have below. Let's read the scenario. You love your home, but a visit you made to another part of Guyana changed how you feel. Write a composition describing another part of Guyana that you visited and enjoyed. Now, in the introduction of such a composition, you would want to give the name and location of this place and your reason for choosing it. In the body for this composition, after examining it, there were two paragraphs. In the first paragraph, describe what the place actually looked like and what you can see there. Use many adjectives in order to create a picture of the place that was being described. Paragraph 2, and you will see here that in the body it was not just one paragraph. Two paragraphs actually were in the body of this composition. Here, a description of what could be done at this place, description of activities and attractions that could be found there were given. Again, a lot of adjectives were used to describe these activities. Then in the conclusion, it included comments and feelings, recommendations regarding this place. So, the topic for this composition is My Bartica Getaway. Let's look at it. 3 years ago, I took a trip to beautiful Bartica. This town is located up the Essequibo River. If you come from Georgetown, you can either take a speedboat or a ferry, or even a plane to get there. Simply put, Bartica is a hidden jewel of Guyana and has left me with beautiful memories forever. Aside from its wide river view, Bartica is a tourism asset, also includes century-old buildings and access to other exciting locations. You can find magnificent recreational spots, majestic falls, and historical landmarks in and around Bartica. Yet, the chance to discover the exotic flora and fauna is something you don't want to miss. There are many things you can do in Bartica to make your holiday enjoyable. For example, you can hire a boat to bring you to one of the exotic resorts nearby where you can enjoy nature hikes, bird watching, and even visit some of the falls nearby. We can indulge in fresh seafood, eat in a floating restaurant, or even take a dive or have a swim in the refreshing black water. In addition, the local people are very warm and friendly, so they will be happy to take you to various interesting places. In short, Bartica is an amazing location of fun and relaxation. If you are looking for the perfect vacation and the ability to relax and enjoy yourself, this is the place for you. Now, as you listened and followed that story, were you able to connect to the details of the story? Were you able to develop a mental picture of what Barticle looked like or why the writer enjoyed visiting there? Were you able to hear sounds and probably smell something as the story was being read? Now, if you were, then there was good use of descriptive language in that story, and you would have achieved, or the writer would actually have achieved the aim of writing a descriptive composition. Okay, pupils, now that you have examined an example of a descriptive composition, you will look at the following topic and write your own descriptive composition. This is the topic I have for you: my best friend's birthday celebration. My best friend's birthday celebration. Here, this is your topic for your own writing. Remember, while your composition must have the basic elements of character, plot, setting, conflict, resolution, there must be the use of figurative language, identification of a central theme, the use of appropriate words, and be careful to have all your ideas organized properly. Well, I hope you now have a better understanding on how you can improve your skills in writing a descriptive composition. So, until next time, this is Ms. Shamshideen saying, see you on the Writer's Crusade.